This episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing episode 1 of the Santa Clauses, titled Good to Ho. This is the beloved series that is a continuation from the Santa Claus movies that stars Tim Allen as Santa Claus. This is a continuation sequel to the Santa Claus 3, the Escape Clause, and the other subsequent movies. Now, Tim Allen, Elizabeth Mitchell, Eric Lloyd, and David Krumholtz all reprise their role in this series from the film series. Now, this is basically an interesting aspect of the story and how the everything comes together. This is a 6-episode first season, and it premiered November 16th, 2022 on Disney Plus with a 2-episode premiere. Now, in this first episode, it takes place 28 years later, and we see that kind of Santa is losing his magic in a way. And the reason he's losing his magic is because the kids that he gave presents to when they were younger are now adults and are starting to not believe Santa Claus anymore. Because now, um, you know, adults like myself who were kids back then are older now, and we either are doing our own thing or we have, lose track of Christmas, or we don't have kids and then we lose that belief of Santa Claus. So the entire time, Santa is losing his magic one by one, and the list of the naughty and nice list is dwindling, and he doesn't have that magic where he touches his nose and he, goes up the chimney or goes up the little pipe that turns into a chimney. It's really interesting how it's done. Tim Allen is great as always as the Santa Claus, and the first film is synonymous because it's just a cult classic hit. I mean, the first movie came out in 1994, the Santa Claus 2 was in 2002, and the Santa Claus 3 was in 2006. So within that time, 3 films, but the most classic one is the first one, and it was done so well. Not only that, Elizabeth Mitchell as Carol or Mrs. Claus is trying to figure out the idea of what's happening with her. What's the story if there were any previous Mrs. Clauses? We don't know the story of that. They do mention the aspect of what happened in the previous movies with how the original Santa Claus fell off the roof and, Scott put the coat on, he became Santa Claus. And the aspect of that, and then the elves are trying to figure out what's going on. There is a character named Noel, played by Devin Bright, who is a interesting character, but I feel like he's just just a tiny bit annoying for the role he's playing. He's just, complacent in certain ways. Now, this first episode we have where Santa Claus does his thing, but he's losing his magic, but he has to gain weight for another year. This episode is about 33 minutes long, this first episode. Now, within this 33 minutes, we fast forward 1 year. This is the first time I've seen that in any aspect. Now, Cal Penn, who you may know from Harold and Kumar and other films, plays Simon Chosky, who is a game developer and a product developer who wants to be the next kind of Jeff Bezos in a way by delivering certain packages. He doesn't understand what's going on. His daughter believes Santa Claus is real. He doesn't, but he gets signs that, he's a real. And it's really interesting. You're trying to figure out who the villain in this is. And I feel like Cal Penn's character of Simon is that villain, but we don't know just yet. Now, the events of this first episode lead into a recreation of the first movie where the original Santa Claus falls off the roof and Scott falls off the roof and he's just knocked unconscious. That's the first episode of the Santa Clauses. This is a really interesting way they've done it. I didn't think Disney Plus, or Disney for that matter, would bring back this story. I figured 3 films would be enough because the 3 films are great in their own right. But seeing Tim Allen reprise this role is absolutely fantastic. Doing this as a series or a small mini series, I want to say, is really good. We get more story in within the 30 minutes in a way than we do an hour and a half to 2 hour movie. I would have liked to have seen a fourth movie, but maybe we will get a fourth movie after all this wraps up, just to have that one final, hurrah of what the Santa Claus stories are. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 1 of the Santa Clauses, titled Good to Ho. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like the aspect of the story, the comedy? What do you think of Tim Allen reprising his role? Do you think this show still has that Christmas spirit like the movies did? And from what you've seen so far with this first episode, do Do you like it? And do you like the movies better? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And stay tuned, and you can click this box right here for my episode 2 review of the Santa Clauses.